How you doing, guys? Just going to do a little video on a recent video from WatchMojo.com. They have a pretty popular YouTube page. I think everyone has seen a WatchMojo video at some point because they're famous for doing top 10 lists of everything and anything, right? And they're usually, from what I hear, fan-driven lists. Like you vote in your answers, and they compile the list from all the votes and maybe some other criteria once in a while. But there was a recent video that came out from them, and it's caused a bit of a stir, I guess, in some of the beer community, online beer community circles. Probably the most stir since the Food Babes bullshit about, all these horrible additives in these popular brands of beer, all that disinformation and garbage. I mean, some of the beers on the list were absolute shit, but I mean, the idea that the stuff they were putting in it was like super dangerous and was gonna fucking give you cancer 10 years down the road was just horse shit. But anyway, this is Top 10 Best Global Beers was the name of the video. And this was, I guess, was an idea given by certain users who watch WatchMojo.com, and then of course they put out a page where you could vote your answers in, and then they compiled them. The criteria that they compiled the list of the votes from was three different things: taste, sales, and longevity of the brewery. And yeah, I don't know how they worked that out, whatever. But this is their list anyway. They said one beer per country in the list, so 10 different countries, 10 different beers. And they said no craft brews, so keep that in mind. That'll become important here in at least one of the picks on this list. So the first pick they gave was from Mexico, Dos Equis. Started in 1897. I got no issue with that pick. Like I said, this list is supposed to be non-craft brews, so they're talking big macro brands that are popular, but they're trying to pick out the ones that are, they taste a bit better than your usual stuff. So, and they don't necessarily always name specific beers, which is kind of confusing, actually. Sometimes they'll name a specific beer from a brand, or they'll just name the brand itself, which kind of stupid, really, because a lot of these breweries have several brands under their beer brands under their name. So, I mean, Dos Equis has the Dos Equis Amber, which is an awesome selection, I think, compared to the regular Dos Equis. Number 9, and here's the one where it gets a little tricky. Samuel Adams, 1984. They said no craft breweries. Now, technically, Sam Adams is still a craft brewery. Under the the North American Brewers Association or whatever, they say you have to make 6 million barrels or more to be categorized as not being a craft brewery. Now, that is up for debate. A lot of people don't see that as legitimate because the old number was 2.3. No, it was 2 million. 2 million barrels. And in 2010, Sam Adams made 2.3 million barrels. And so they actually changed the definition of craft brew to accommodate Sam Adams. And of course, Sam Adams has been combating the idea that they are a big brewery. They've been doing that a lot in recent years in their advertising. And I should mention that this video, and I will link it down there so you can see it, when they're listing these beers, they're actually showing ads from ad campaigns of these different breweries for these different beers, with the permission of the breweries. So this is a great advertisement for these breweries, so no wonder they said yes. And it sounds like, for the most part, they're reading copy right from the breweries, because a lot of this stuff just sounds like absolute nonsense about, oh, how clear and pure our beers are and shit like that. Like, no one gives a fuck. No self-respecting craft beer drinker gives a fuck anyway. Only the sheep buy into these fucking artificial tags that they put in their fucking advertisements. So, okay, so Sam Adams, I still consider it craft, I guess. So, right there, shouldn't be on the list as far as I'm concerned. But whatever. Next we have Sapporo from 1876. Yeah, why not? I think I had the pleasure of having the Japanese Sapporo at one point. I think when they first showed up here in Nova Scotia, they were still made in Japan and shipped over here. But since they bought up Sleeman makes basically Canadian Sapporo here, and we get that now. And it's not terrible. It's not my favorite though. Number 7, Becks from 1873, German. So, yeah, I guess so. Honestly, I can't think of too many other big-name German beers. Like, I keep wanting to say, like, Heineken and stuff, but that's not German. But you always sort of kind of, like, think in the back of your mind that it is. Like, you know, Europe, honestly, it kind of sort of bundles together for me. Like, I don't care so much about country divisions. I just sort of, like I say Euro lager all the time. It's just a broad description of the general style of lager you get from European countries, even though there's vast differences. But usually we get the same sort of slop anyway from all the different breweries there imported over. So, yeah, so Beck's fine, whatever. Carlsberg, ugh. Carlsberg, I don't know. I don't like Carlsberg all that much. 1904, pretty old. Number 5, Stella Artois from 1926. That's probably a pretty good choice for Belgium. That is probably it's not only the most well-known beer from Belgium in general. It's no doubt one of the best, or one of the most well-known beers in the world, and still one of the most popular ones. And it's not bad. Overpriced as fuck, but not bad. Then we got Pilsner Urquell, 1842. Good choice. That's actually a really good beer. So I have no problem with that on the list, really. And we'll get to the list why would anyone have a problem with much on this list. We'll get to that when we finish this. But Pilsner Urquell, awesome. Even the sort of, like, I guess, filtered imported stuff, you know, maybe pasteurized or whatever that we get over here, still, like, really good. It's still better than most of the big market lagers we get domestically. So, number 3, Newquay Brown from 1927. It's interesting, they note when they mention Newquay Brown, they were having trouble deciding between that and Double Diamond. Who the fuck knows what Double Diamond is outside of maybe the Commonwealth? As far as I know, Double Diamond must be a dead brand by now. Are they really that popular outside of England at all? Do a lot of Americans know Double Diamond? I kind of doubt it. I really kind of do. If you do, correct me, but I remember liking Double Diamond. I used to like Newquay Brown, but it's definitely changed drastically in the last few years. And they got all kinds of gimmicky, different variations of it now. Trying very hard to be popular and regain some market share. They mentioned that it was considered a working man's beer. It definitely used to be. I don't know so much about it now. I think that's just more manufactured image at this point now than anything else. Number 2, Heineken from 1873. Heineken's probably a pretty safe choice. Yeah. I really don't like Heineken all that much, but I mean, it's inoffensive. So, I mean, and it is very popular, super fucking popular. I sort of have the same feelings I have that as I do with, like, Carlsberg and stuff like that. Like, very boring Euro lagers that I don't like all that much. And before any fucking European jumps on me. Yes, I realize that it tastes so much better in your home country, so shut the fuck up. Okay, I can only go on the imported stuff we get. Alright? That is solely what my opinion of it is based upon. And it's based upon that version of the beer, so I'm not wrong. I am giving an opinion on that version of the beer that we get, so, and the idea that your version is vastly different than what we get is also kind of pathetic, really. I hate apologists for beer. Really, really suck. And number 1, 1759 Guinness. That's probably a really good choice. Guinness is probably one of the... honestly, I'd say Guinness is probably, like, maybe after Budweiser, probably the most well-known. Budweiser or Coors. It's somewhere... It has to be in the top 5 list, at least. And quality-wise, Guinness is definitely better than a lot of that shit. It's not the greatest thing ever. Different variations of Guinness will give you different results, depending on the market of where it's sold. I mean, you can get, like, the Guinness Extra Stout in some countries where it's, like, super awesome, right up there with some craft beers. Then you get the regular draft stuff all around that, you know, it's good in a pinch. I definitely drink that before I drink most of the shit on this list. So yeah, it's Guinness. I have no problem with that as a number 1. They gave some honorable mentions here. Oh boy. I guess it's pronounced like Chang Tao or some shit, but I say Sing Tao. I don't give a fuck if that pisses anyone off. Sing Tao from China or wherever. Kronenberg 1664. Ew. No thanks. Polliner. That's a good choice. I like Polliner. And 2 I never heard of. Superbock and Chang. I have no fucking idea what those are. Those to me would be what Double Diamond is to most people when they mention the Newquay Brown on the list there. Double Diamond? What the fuck is that? If they had put Double Diamond on this list, how many people would actually know what it is? So yeah, I mean... I'm basically just doing this video to waste time. I just wanted to put a video up. I was kind of bored. But I mean, people bickering over this list, I mean, it's obviously more geared towards being an advertisement. I don't know if that's WatchMojo's actual intent, is to make this an advertise. If this was just, you know, a cynical advertisement manufactured. I don't know if big beer companies are giving them money or some shit. I doubt it. They say it's a user-driven thing where people ask them to do it and then they voted, so I'll take their word for it unless someone has some sort of proof that WatchMojo is dirty. But yeah, it's just a fun, stupid list. It's definitely not as polarizing as the fucking Food Babe bullshit. Personally, I don't know why anyone really gives a fuck about debating this list. I mean, there's definitely some people who go into this not even realizing that it's not supposed to have craft beers on it. Like, they get all bent out of shape from the get-go, and they want to be offended. And, you know, there's always people like that whenever one of these things comes up. Like, they don't read the fine print, right? So they be like, you don't have any of these craft beers on here, blah, blah. It's not supposed to have any craft beers on. Of course, they contradicted themselves in their own list with Samuel Adams. If you agree it's a craft beer. But yeah, the list is just, you know, it's just another WatchMojo.com list. It's highly fucking subjective. I don't know why anyone would get bent out of shape at all about anything on this list, because it's not an objective fucking list. I mean, it's not. It's highly subjective. It's all based around people's opinions, and if you have a different opinion, great, but, you know, don't get all pissy about it. So yeah, I mean, I actually am kind of thinking about doing my own list. I mean, if anything, that should be what it sparks from you. Your own list of whether it's craft brews or big brews. What are the best ones from different countries? That's actually that'd be a hard list to actually think of, I think. I'd actually have to really sit down. Like, what's the best beer from the United States? What's the best beer from Canada? what is the best beer from England? And for that matter, what is the best beer from fucking China? Do you really know? Like, that would be a interesting thing to do. I might try to do that. I might. But I mean, there's just so many beers that a list like this is obviously going to leave off favorites for people. I mean, even macro drinkers who might have more of a stake in a list like this. There's just so many. I mean, you could easily substitute Sam Adams for like PBR or something along those lines. I mean, PBR is not bad, and that's an old brand, and it's a popular brand, and I assume the sales have been pretty good. I mean, even if it's under a different wing of a different brewery now, I mean, sold to other breweries, like, just about everything on, I think actually everything except for Sam Adams on this fucking list has been bought up by some other companies, so it's not like it's the it's not like it's the original goddamn breweries for the most part, some big traditional thing. It's just, you know, corporate breweries. So, but yeah, all right, guys. I don't know if you got anything out of this. I don't even know if I made any sort of point, but whatever. I'm gonna put the video up anyway, so fuck you. Enjoy your day.